Typhoon Marce, also known as Yinxing internationally, is now rated a Category 4 storm system based on the Saffir-Simpson scale according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. And I'm not surprised, based on the satellite representation we are getting at this time, that eyewall starting to wrap up a bit more. And as we go ahead through the next 12 hours, conditions are going to be increasingly going downhill for Cagayan and extending off towards the Locos Norte. That is basically northern Luzon. But currently, our storm system is smashing right into the Sierra Madre Mountains here. And the mountains are doing their job. They're protecting a good portion of the Cagayan Valley, but already places like Santa Ana already can start to see these winds up to tropical storm strength, and they would quickly escalate the typhoon strength as we see that inner eye wall, which you can see here on microwave imagery, starting to make that landfall. So right now we're starting to get those bands, but it is that inner core of the storm that has those winds at that Cat 4 intensity once again, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. It's no surprise, Signal Force 4 has been issued for northern Cagayan, with Signal Force 3 for pretty much a good portion of the province, 2 for Isabela. But I think as you go further towards the south, the thing about this storm that we saw more in the last two is that the core, where you have kind of the worst of the weather, only stretches down right about there. So that means northern Isabela, extending back towards Vigan into Candon, Ilocos Norte. That's where you're going to kind of see the core and the worst of this weather. So when we're talking about Cat 4 status, it really is just that inner core right in here around the eye. We're talking about hurricane strength. It's going to be extending down to about where that green line is. Now, it's not to say you'll miss out on all the weather if you're further towards the south, just only that the core where you have that Signal Force 4 issued is really going to remaining off here towards north as this tracks across northern Luzon, skirting over the mountains here, and then eventually re-emerging into the West Philippine Sea, where a cold surge and wind shear is going to disrupt this storm system. And you can see that even here in the broader picture. Look at kind of those cold weather clouds. Even got some Von Karman vortices coming around Jeju-do right in there. That's what this is right here. All of that is cool air, and that's our cold surge spilling south. Reason why this kind of looks sheared off just like that. And that's going to interact with our storm system as it heads off here towards the west. So for Vietnam, I'm not terribly concerned. Okay. Let's also, I'll quickly mention this, and then we're going to come back to it. This area near Guam, heavy rainfall around Guam, Saipan, broad circulation. Potential with this to be our next named storm system, possibly out here towards the Philippines. I'm going to come back to that, so don't go anywhere just yet. Let's get through the storm system we're talking about at this moment, of course. And then we'll talk about with our potential next storm system. So yeah, this is going to continue to track across northern Luzon, move towards the west with our cold surge coming in, really gradually weakening this out. And this is the ECMWF guidance, yeah, showing the potential for another tropical storm by Tuesday morning making landfall. I'm going to discuss why that is still a potential and not written in the books in just a second, guys. But here's a track from the Japan Meteorological Agency as it skirts northern Luzon. The good news, by Friday about midday, so right here, this is about Friday 2-3 o'clock, this storm is going to be offshore and chugging off towards the west and weakening. So Thursday really going to be the worst of the weather for northern Luzon. Really starting to pick up now already by Wednesday night, but really throughout the day on Thursday, heading into Thursday evening for northwestern Luzon. That includes all of Region 1. You're going to be looking at those winds wrapping around and hitting the coastline here before this continues to kick off here towards the west with those vastly improving conditions through Saturday heading into Sunday. But then Monday into Tuesday, we could be seeing that next low pressure area set up. And here's a broader picture of what I'm talking about, those cool northerly winds. But unfortunately, we have this high pressure ridge right in here. So if anything was to develop, it would have to basically track right along like that. And there wouldn't be much of a chance for it to turn north outside of the potential maybe of a trough right in here. So, I don't like it. I don't like having another storm system, I'll tell you that. Especially if we just get impacted by one here with heavy rainfall. You see, this is rainfall accumulation. So let's talk about this, because that's what a lot of you are probably curious about. Of course, we got a Cat 4 major storm. Not quite super, but we don't need another one. here's our SpaghettiOs, and I like using this because what's interesting is, you just saw that guidance showing that landfall, but the ensembles, a lot of them churn this storm north. It almost wraps around kind of like that, so it brings it up here with the ECMWF and kicks it off with that passing trough, a sharp right turn, and it looks like even some of the latest ECMWF runs kind of have that. See right here, this is the ECMWF. By Monday to Tuesday, it loops north of Luzon instead of smacking right into it. GFS doesn't really have much of anything. So, with that said, the GFS doesn't have much of anything. The ECMWF is trying to loop it north, and we don't have a low-level kind of center at this point. It's still very disorganized. So, once again, stand by. Let's monitor, of course, and let's see how things develop over the upcoming days. I also do want to mention the GFS and the long-range forecast. This is by next Friday, the 15th, is going full super out here in the Philippines by mid-month. So the GFS not really pulling for this first storm, but is pulling hard for a second storm. The point is, and we'll go back to this graphic because the SpaghettiOs are great in just showing you the confidence, is that the ECMWF and the GFS both are just picking more. They're going from all the way out through mid-November. More tropical systems. I can't say things are going to quiet down after the next storm. I think that we are going to have at least one more named storm, possibly near the Philippines before the month is out. Because we got this first one, we could have a second one. It's a pain in the arse, and you got. I mean, you can kind of see it here. Here's number 1. Here's number 2, and here's the potential for number 3, what the GFS is kind of picking up on right now. So, yeah, we got multiple areas lined up here that we're continuing to monitor. So, and for now, it is we still got our full-on Cat 4 typhoon nearing landfall in Cagayan. I hope everybody gets through the storm system safe tonight. This is no joke whatsoever. So, if you are out here, please make sure you're listening to proper evacuation authorities. As I said in my last update, but it feels like we're getting typhoon fatigued, and I get it. You've been through a bunch. Don't start slacking and taking off. I know y'all know what you're doing, but the minute you get laxed and you think this isn't the one, I've already been through a few, that's when stuff serious starts to happen. So, let's be smart about it. I'm going to end up with this. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you like our Patreon, or if you want to support our Patreon, link is down below. Truly, truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate the fact you're watching in the first place. But extra thanks for all our Patreon members who continue to support this channel. Garmin, Colonel Cy, Jeff Davis, Jacqueline Smith, Gian. Y'all are heroes. Thank you so much for continuing to help us out here at Westpac Weather. So, all right. That's a look at today's weather forecast. Of course, if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. But number one thing, as always, friends, is, of course, please, please, please stay safe out there. All right. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are.